Hello, friends. Our next chapter involves a journey. Today we're going west in the big Cuyahoga wagon, going to be off in Frontierland. Once upon a time, a little girl named Laura lived in the big woods of Wisconsin in a little house made of logs. Laura lived in the little house with her pa, her ma, her big sister Mary, her baby sister Carrie, and their good old bulldog Jack. Many people had come to live in the big woods. Almost every day, Laura and Mary stopped their playing to look in surprise at a wagon slowly creaking by. Wild animals would not stay in a place where there were so many people. Pa did not want to stay either. He liked places where wild animals could live without being afraid. He liked to see the deer looking at him from the shadowy woods and the fat, lazy bears eating berries in the wild berry patches. We have bears in the woods in Wisconsin. One long winter evening, Pa told Ma that he was going to take the family to live in the West. In the West, there were not as many people. There were no trees, and the grass grew thick and high. That's the land of the prairie, the giant grassland we call a savanna. So Pa sold the little house in the big woods. He sold the cow and the calf too. It would be hard for them to travel west with the wagon. Pa made hickory bows and fastened them to the wagon. Ma helped him stretch white canvas over the bows to make a covered wagon for the family to travel in. Then they packed everything in the little house except for the beds and tables and chairs. They did not need to take these because Pa could always make new ones. They had to travel light on such a long journey. Then one morning, before it was even light outside, Ma gently woke Mary and Laura until they woke up. Laura and Mary put on their long red flannel underwear, their wool petticoats and wool dresses, and their long wool stockings. Next, they put on their coats, their rabbit skin hoods, and their red yarn mittens. They're putting on layers of clothes to keep them warm on the journey. Outside the little house, there was snow on the ground, and the air was still and cold and dark. Through the gray woods came the lanterns with wagons and horses, bringing Grandma and Grandpa and aunts and uncles and cousins. They're all coming to bid them goodbye. Mary and Laura held on tightly to their dolls and did not say a word. Grandma and the aunts hugged them and kissed them and kissed them and hugged them, saying goodbye. They're all sad to be separating since they were going to travel far away. The uncles helped Pa hitch the horses to the wagons. All the cousins were told to kiss Laura and Mary, and so they did, because they all knew they would not see each other for a long, long time. Then Pa picked up Mary and Laura and set them in the wagon. He helped Ma climb up onto the wagon seat, and Grandma reached up and gave her baby Carrie. They're all loaded up and ready for their long journey. Off went the wagon, and the little house in the big woods stayed inside the log fence behind the big trees that Mary and Laura liked to play under. And that was the last time they saw the little house. The family had a long journey ahead of them, but Pa was on the wagon seat and Jack was under the wagon, and Laura felt happy knowing they were on their way to another little house, a little house on the western prairie. And now their journey begins, a new adventure to the prairies, the great prairies, and all the grasses and plants and new adventures they would have together with their family.